The first step to knowing your MBTI personality type is to understand the four MBTI dichotomies. These opposing pairs of preferences describe how people focus their energy, gather information, and make decisions. 1. Extroversion and Introversion. This opposing pairs of preference deal with how people focus their energy, either on the external world or their internal world. Everyone uses both extroversion and introversion at least some of the time, but one of the two would be most natural and automatic for you. People who prefer extroversion are called extroverts. They seek out situations where they can work with people and be actively involved with the world. When they spend a lot of time alone, they may feel tired, dissatisfied, and may seek out the stimulation of other people and activities. People who prefer introversion are called introverts. They seek out situations where they can work and spend recreational time alone, and where they have plenty of time to reflect. If introverts have to spend a lot of time working with or socializing with people, they may feel tired, dissatisfied, and may seek out the quietness and calmness of being alone. This is not to say that introverts do not like to be around people. Introverts enjoy interacting with others, but it drains their energy in a way that is not experienced by extroverts. Sometimes it's hard to decide between these two preferences because of the way we change with age or behave when faced with various situations. If you are still undecided between extroversion and introversion, answer this question genuinely. If you had to be an extrovert or introvert for the rest of your life, which would you choose? Extroversion is represented by the letter E, while introversion is represented by the letter I. Write down the letter representing your preference. For example, if you picked extroversion, then write down the letter E. 2. Sensing and intuition. Sensing and intuition are two opposite ways of gathering information. When we use sensing, we gather information via our five senses. Our focus when we are using sensing is on the facts and details that are in our immediate environment. When we use intuition, we focus on patterns and meanings that can be inferred from information obtained through our senses. Also, our focus is about the implications of this information. People who prefer sensing notice and remember facts and details. They like information to be firmly connected to past and present experiences and prefer information that are grounded in facts and can be easily verified. They can become impatient and critical when forced to deal with ambiguity. People who prefer intuition read between the lines, making inferences about the meaning of other people's words and actions. They prefer situations that allow them to speculate about future possibilities and can become bored and unmotivated when forced to deal with too much facts and details. A person who has a natural preference for sensing would probably describe themselves first as practical, while a person who has a natural preference for intuition would choose to describe themselves as innovative. Everyone uses both sensing and intuition at least some of the time, but one of the two tends to be most natural and automatic. Sensing is represented by the letter S, while intuition is represented by the letter N. Write down the letter representing your preference. 3. Thinking and feeling. Thinking and feeling are two opposite ways of making decisions. When we use thinking, we make decisions using cause and effect or logical analysis. When we use feeling, we make decisions using our personal values. People who prefer thinking take a dispassionate approach to decision-making. They use consistent principles to arrive at conclusions that treat people impartially. This is their primary goal. The welfare of people is secondary. People who prefer feeling involve themselves in the decision-making process. They try to understand the values and concerns of those involved in order to arrive at conclusions that take the welfare of people into account as the primary goal, with logic and impartiality being secondary. Everyone uses both thinking and feeling at least some of the time, but the one that you use automatically and naturally is the one that is preferred. Thinking is represented by the letter T, while feeling is represented by the letter F. Write down the letter representing your preference. 4. Judging and perceiving. Judging and perceiving are two general approaches taken when we deal with the outer world, regardless of whether we prefer extroversion or introversion. People who prefer judging want things around them to be settled and decided very fast, while people who prefer perceiving like to gather as much information as possible before they reach a decision. Everyone uses both judging and perceiving at least some of the time, but the one that we use most comfortably when we can behave as we like is likely to be our natural preference. People who prefer judging typically like to make both short and long-term plans and get things done efficiently according to a schedule. They would rather make a decision that has to be changed later on than continually put off decision-making to gather more information. People who prefer perceiving like the freedom to respond spontaneously and flexibly to tasks and feel most effective without rigid plans. They would rather consider all the relevant information available before making a decision than come to a conclusion without enough information. Judging is represented by the letter J, while perceiving is represented by the letter P. Write down the letter representing your preference. Now that you have written the letters that represent all your 4 preferences, to know your MBTI personality type, add all the letters together, starting from the first to the last. What you will get is your MBTI personality type. You're going to have any of the 16 MBTI types. The next step is to take out time to watch our videos on your particular personality type to understand your strengths and weaknesses, and also study the other personality types, as this would help you know how to relate with other people more effectively.